5 rare tornadoes touched down in our state as powerful storms moved through our area this morning. Tonight, work is well underway to clean up the mess left behind, something that's certainly going to take some time. Hello, everyone. I'm Vic Carter.
And I'm Rick Ritter. 4 of those twisters were EF1 in Carroll, Cecil, Frederick, and Montgomery County, certainly beyond scary. And that means the tornadoes had winds of up to 110 miles per hour.
This is what the radar looked like when the worst of the storms moved through, packing a punch with heavy rain and whipping winds. The damage is extensive. From Carroll and Frederick to Montgomery counties, massive trees came down, power lines snapped, and even a roof was blown off a building.
And we have team weather coverage tonight in some of the hardest hit areas. WJZ is live right now. Rachel Menitoff in Frederick County, and we just learned a tornado touchdown there, blamed for a lot of the damage we've seen, Rachel.
That's right, Rick. The National Weather Service just confirmed that an EF1 tornado touched down here in Monrovia, and it lasted for about 6 miles. And tonight there are still plenty of people without power as they wait for crews to restore broken lines. This is the aftermath of a heavy storm that ushered in 70-mile-per-hour winds.
When I say it hit, rain was going sideways. Things were flying through the neighborhood.
Power lines snapped in half and debris filled the streets of this Monrovia neighborhood in Frederick County. One viewer sent us this video of trees toppled over from the roots up.
And yet to have thunderstorms and to have this type of convective, severe weather type of damage that we typically see later in the spring, it's very unusual.
Probably the most severe and dramatic images coming from this farm off of Fingerboard Road. The barn house completely leveled and several other outbuildings damaged. It took a coordination of efforts between multiple local agencies, including Newmarket, Valley Green, and Carroll County first responders, who worked together to organize a command system.
Whether it's people on the ground knocking on doors, making sure everybody's okay, calling in and seeing where the downed trees and downed wires are.
The Red Cross also stepped in to relocate a woman who lives on this property off of Jesse Smith Road. A large pine tree toppled through the side of her house, temporarily trapping her inside.
Such a blessing that nobody was injured.
And when the dust settled, longtime Monrovia resident Diana says her neighborhood was unrecognizable.
Every debris you could imagine in the middle of the roads.
The meteorologist with the National Weather Center tells us that these severe weather systems typically roll in March and April, but that this most recent storm proves that it can happen really any time of year. We're live in Frederick County tonight. I'm Rachel Menitoff for WJZ.
Scary stuff, Rachel. Thank you. We want to take a closer look at some of those tornadoes that touched down. This is what the National Weather Service released on the EF1 in Elkton. Now, it traveled less than a mile, but it packed a punch with peak winds of about 100 miles per hour. In Carroll County, a much different story. The EF1 there lasted for more than 10 miles from down here in the Avondale Ridge area to downtown Manchester. Peak winds were about 90 miles per hour there. Now, Avajoy Burnett with a look at the damage this all caused.
And there was extreme damage here in Carroll County. In Westminster, officials are telling us that the damage was in about an 8-block radius. When we came out here, this is what we saw. Trees that snapped because of the force of these winds. And this particular tree came crashing down in a driveway. The family here told us that they usually park their car right at the spot, but the night before, they chose not to.
When I came around here, I was like, oh my God.
The common theme in Westminster this morning was utter disbelief.
Oh, it was really loud. It was, I don't know, like a boom or something like that.
First, the tornado warnings lit up people's phones. Carroll County schools sent back-to-back alerts to parents. Some students huddled in the basement. And then there was the noise.
I just hit like sonic boom, like boom. And I'm like just shocked. I just got up, you know.
The powerful winds, as quick as they were, left a mark. Roofs flew off buildings. This one landed in the middle of Main Street. The National Weather Service will determine if there was a tornado, damage that hopped from county to county. This is what it looked like in Montgomery County. And an incredible photo here, a tree branch pierced the windshield smack in the middle of the passenger side. No injuries were reported. A fast and furious storm like this meant calls to 911 were at a peak.
The storm came in pretty quickly and left pretty quickly. We started receiving calls for service for trees down, power lines down.
Now it's time to clean up, and this family with a newborn baby is counting their blessings.
It was really quick. the noise and the rain, and then it was suddenly over, and I'm pretty sure I heard the thump of that. And when I came out, I was just like, well, I'm glad I didn't park my car there, because that's where I always park it.
Avajoy Renat for WJZ.
In Montgomery County, the Warrior Canine Connection in Boyd was also badly damaged during this morning's storms. This is near where one of the tornadoes touched down. The facility raises puppies to be trained by veterans to become service dogs for other veterans. No dogs or humans were hurt. The second tornado that hit Montgomery County was in Dickerson. You can see that EF1 ripped the roof of this barn right off.
All right, let's bring in Bob Turk now. He's tracking exactly what happened when this powerful system rolled through.
We had very warm, moist air early in the morning. Temperatures got up in the low 60s. This cold front came through, pushed the air up, and forced a squall line to develop. Take a look at that radar. See that line right around Frederick, Germantown? Moved right through the state, moving at around 50 to 60 miles an hour between 7:30, 8:30, and 9 o'clock. Finally, by about 10:30, it was off to the east, northeast of the region. So we finally got rid of it, but lots and lots of damage. Take a look at all that storm winter. These are just wind reports around the region. Just dozens and dozens of them, plus the tornado activity. This one here up near Barksdale, Maryland, that's right on the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland line, extreme northeastern sections of Cecil County. That was around 9:30. That was the last one in the state before it moved into the Philadelphia and New Jersey area. Right now, take a look at radar. Pretty quiet. We actually had a few snow showers in the city about an hour and a half ago. It's dried up overnight tonight. Generally clear skies. Certainly much colder than we saw the last 24 hours. Looks like a dry weekend to start off. A lot of sunshine. We'll talk about the rest of the forecast of the weekend coming up. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Remember, WJZ is your weather connection. We'll bring you all the information you need with the latest weather team in town, both on air and online at WJZ.com.